seemed like the Raiders were sort of dinking and dunking down the field.
Yeah.
When that happens, where does the onus shift to when the pass rushers don't really have enough time to get there?
Yeah, I think with that, there was times we changed it up, try and play some man coverage just to get on them a little bit tighter. And obviously they made a couple plays, in man-to-man against us. We had one miscommunication there that got us. But yeah, you're just trying to spin it around, move it around a little bit. When that's the case, if they're thinking and dunking, like you said, and they're really in the types of zones that you play, there are some more matchier zones, that you can go to. But that's usually what that's really where the onus shifts.
How do you prepare for a quarterback that hasn't made a start this season? Do you go back to his old tape?
Yeah, you go back to his old tape, and then obviously, last week against Denver, you get a pretty good idea, who he is and how he operates. But good player, he's athletic, in terms of being able to move in the pocket and get the ball. He's an accurate thrower, get the ball to their playmaker, so that's still a challenge. And looks like a guy that is obviously very decisive and has been there quite a while.
Does the old tape still hold as much value, even though it was a different offense?
Yeah, I mean, just to watch the player, you do definitely go back and look at that. But yeah, systematically, it doesn't hold as much value. But yeah, but definitely to watch the guys and kind of see their skill set for sure.
Ventrell's obviously done some good things, but what would getting Devin back kind of mean for you guys?
Yeah, Dev's a big part of everything we were able to do early in the year. Because when I was talking about him in the past, it was more. I think Devin really is just capable of doing a lot of things. Whether it's the pass coverage, the pass rush, playing in the box as a linebacker, and then playing on the ball. It's really just a unique skill set that way. So it gives us a little bit more in terms of options, things that you can do. And he definitely presents some problems for the offense for sure.
This is the first time we're getting you since Travis went to IR. Just kind of, what does that mean for the defense, and kind of what was your reaction?
Yeah, I think whenever you lose guys in the season, you're going into a game plan with one idea, and then things shift or change. You're filling out to do what you think is the best, or use the best options possible, I would say at that point. But Trav, I felt like was doing a really good job in some of the man-to-man stuff, also on third down. Because the thing with him is he's got ball skills, so it's a challenge to throw the ball at a guy like that because he can go ahead and make a play. He's got great stop-start, and change of direction. So that's what makes him really elite, in my opinion, as a defensive back. So yeah, losing him, you lose a little bit there, and you try and shift the guys into positions as best you can.
When you were looking at the Raiders, what did you think about Jacoby Myers?
So it's funny, I was talking to him yesterday. When I was in Miami, we played him like twice a year when he was in New England, I'm like, this guy's a total pain in the ass. He just catches everything and he blocks everybody, Like he would go in there and you got guys like in 11 personnel, Z receivers usually getting in there and MDM and the safety, and he'd go in there like a damn fullback, So I always had a lot of respect for him as a player. Coached against him in college too, actually, but he's really like, when you look at receivers, he's such a, you value guys like that so much, you know what I mean? They go make contested catches and he's tough. I always felt like that. He was a hard guy to defend when we were in Miami because there could be two guys at the point of attack and he really attacked the football and going up in the air for the ball. A lot of times I remember he made a couple sick catches against us that are definitely over by now, but no, but yeah, I'm happy to have him here, man. He's an awesome dude too.
Devon Hamilton does a lot of the dirty work, probably doesn't get the shine much, but he's got the golden hand after last week. I mean, what does D-Ham mean to this defense?
Everybody on our defense loves D-Ham, but I think what probably gets lost for us as a defense right now at this point, we've been pretty good to this point in the run game. I think we made a significant jump throughout the course of the season, and I would say he is as big a part of that as anybody. You say like he does a lot of the dirty work. He plays double teams, all that, and he plays them as good as anybody I've been around. And coaching in the front and coaching the run game over the years, I think he's as good as anybody we've had, and he gives us the opportunity to do that and play with depth to the defense because that guy's able to two-gap people, and that really comes down to, like you said, selflessness and he really is a technician. You know, if you got any love for people who got love for watching D-line play, and guys, you know, playing blocks and whipping blocks, he's done a great job for us that way this year. A couple of the media guys, when they come in on, you know, we're talking about the game on Sunday, and he definitely jumps out to them as well. And he made a huge play for us the other day in the pass game. It was a game-changing play. So I love that dude. I think everybody here does. So he's a great dude too.
Josh tying the franchise record for sacks, just how special was that? I know he is kind of focused on the season right now, but how special was that?
Yeah, you talk to him, it's like you could care less, you know, which, I mean that in a positive way. You just kind of like, always talking about business for the most part, you know what I mean? And like how we can get it better and where we can improve, what we can take advantage of next game. He's about as selfless a player as you're going to run into. He really enjoys all the other parts of the game. And like in terms of the rush and all that stuff, he's a guy that like cares about his teammates. So that's been really refreshing, just being around a guy like that. And you know, obviously I'm happy for him, but I don't feel like he in any way is satisfied. But he's excited to get going again.
Texans been playing with a lot of 6 lineman fronts.
Yeah.
What was that kind of challenge does that present to you guys?
Yeah, you really got to do a good job at the point of attack. Usually, you feel like most of the times in the NFL, where if you have defensive ends on a tight end, more often than not, especially if that guy's more of a pass catcher, you should have a one-up on him there in the run game. You know, we talk about that all the time. When you play with heavy personnels, they try to make it a more, obviously they're trying to create a stalemate there, right? You know, and not give you the edge. So you got to be a technician in your technique, especially in the run game. You know, and it's going to make you work in a pass game. They keep those guys in 6-man, 7-man protections. You're working against an offensive tackle again. You know, so that's also part of the reason why guys do it, and that's the challenge of it.
Jordan left the last game early.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it to replace not necessarily the player on the field, but the leadership that he brings if he can't go this week?
Yeah, he's such a savvy vet too. You know what I mean? He just kind of understands everything. He's done a great job of trying to prepare the guys behind him throughout the whole year. You know, and I think his relationship with Jari is pretty cool to see. You know, he's always there. They're always kind of working together, talking ball together. Christian Braswell, same way. So he's done a great job. And like in the game, you know, the guy gets hurt, I think the first or second play of the game, and he was right behind me the entire game talking to the other guys. Like literally, you could hear him, I could hear him talking behind me and communicating some of the stuff that you're talking about, getting ready for in the game plan during the week. And he's behind you seeing it. So he didn't step away totally from the game when he went down, you know, as bad as he felt. So I have so much respect for him. Love coaching him. It's awesome to have a guy like that though. Like for our team, it's awesome for all the other players, especially in that room, have that dude.
All right.